Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 3, Episode 8, Ham Radio News and Updates 2/26/2025. It is the last Wednesday in February, but I do have some news and got some news from ICOM that I want to share with you guys. Andy, welcome. Cooley, welcome. Chris Radio, welcome. James, welcome. UDB and Ham, welcome. God, thanks for stopping by. Sorry I was on a few minutes late. I've been busy work day. I'm up at the crack of dawn, and it doesn't stop till about 4:30 or so. And I just busy. But it was a good, productive work day today, and got some things that I do want to go ahead and share with you. One of the things that I'm looking forward to as we approach the month of March is seeing the new Yaesu FTX1. Hopefully that's going to come out because I'm really excited about that. That's something that's really kind of piqued my interest, and probably going to go ahead and get that because looking to, it could provide some real good competition to ICOM with the 705. So kind of got my eye on that. That's something that really is interesting. And one of the things I want to kind of jump into right away is, and I saw this, Ray Novak, and you guys know who Ray is from ICOM, put out yesterday, shared this, and I have this up on, let's see if I can blow it up here. Okay, yeah. Okay, build your own remote HF station with the IC7760, and I got to go to the bigger print over here. Firmware update for the IC7760 offers remote operation over the internet or a home LAN connection, wired or Wi-Fi. Place the radio in your Radio Shack and operate full-scale remote with a control head from a separate location. Even with the network delay or jitter, the IC7760 adjusts the buffer to ensure precise signal transmission and CW keying. The optional RC7760 remote controller is available for an additional control head. Up to 5 control heads can be registered to the RF deck. Only one of the control heads connects to the radio and takes control at a time. Commercially available Wi-Fi access points can be connected to the LAN ports for wireless connections. Okay. Please note that internet connection requires, print is so small. I can't even read some of that print. So, okay. Basically, they're going to be selling a remote head. I think it's called, the RC7760. And the whole idea of this is to be able to have multiple remote heads operating off of the same base unit, which is fantastic. But they pointed out real carefully here that it only operates one at a time. In other words, out of those 5, you can only one of those will be actively on the radio and using it at that time. Instances I could see this for, a club comes to mind right away for something like this, because number one, a club can afford the radio more than likely if it's a decent sized club. And number two, different people can have different setups, while they can't go on at the same time. It's interesting because, I kind of thought that maybe when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, you can have 5 different, conversations going on at once, or 5 different persons using the radio at the same time, but it doesn't do that. It only allows you to do one at a time with this. It's exciting. It's something different. It's something that I don't think we've seen before in any kind of a transceiver. I don't think Kenwood or Yaesu has anything like this. So it's interesting, and I'm going to kind of see how that all works out. Obviously, I'd love to see some videos on it. From what I've seen, Richard from MTC doesn't even know how much it's priced yet. Neither does Ray Novak, but he said details will be coming out on that. But there was a firmware update that ICOM released for this today. So it's kind of interesting to see what ICOM is doing in this space. I think it's great. I think it's a good thing. We'll see. It'll be good. It'll be good to get. Oh, that's good, Chris. That's real good. Getting the ham clock to work. That really is, and getting a weather app. That's real good. So yeah, so that's where we're at with this with ICOM. And again, and I also did what was real interesting. Um, I also did and I can't find it for the life of me. And I thought I posted it out on out on X or Twitter, and I thought I posted it out on Ham Radio Basics on my group, but I didn't. But I kind of took an informal. I put a post out there about the cost and the price of radios lately, and how much they are. Of course, the 7760 retails for $6,995. And the funny thing about that is it doesn't even come with a microphone. Okay, believe that or not. Oh, that's fine, James. Don't no worries, no worries. So I put that post out there, and trying to get a response, and I got a very good response from that. And if I find that, I'll make sure that I'll get it out there for everybody. But the whole gist of that was, you know, wanting ICOM and Kenwood and Yaesu to listen to what we want, not what they think that we want. Okay. Now, granted, this is a great radio with an incredible feature set, but look at the price, $69.95. Of course, the 7300 is out there for right around 1,000, and it has a great feature set as well too, especially for hams starting out. And for most hams, that's going to be all that they're going to need for an HF type of rig. It does so much. It has the built-in tuner with it, the SD card. You can record your conversations. I mean, there's just so much. It does a wealth here. This is a Cadillac, so to speak. So, excuse me. So that's kind of where we're at with that. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a flavor for that, and I'm hoping that these manufacturers can really kind of listen to us. For example, the Yaesu FT-891 is a little long in the tooth, especially with the menu systems. It would be real nice if Yaesu put out an updated version of that, or as people have been clamoring for an 818, 819 kind of thing. Because that it's not being made anymore, or an ICOM IC 7100 to update something like that. And they're giving us radios that maybe not necessarily we really want, and that they're at a price point. Okay, UTV and Ham. All right, have a good evening. Hopefully you catch the rest of the stream later. One of those things that I think, I really do hope that they'll end up listening to us. Okay. Walt put out a great video here, and you know him. He shoots from the hip. He's a great guy. And he said, his video last week was about ARRL, why you should support, why you should join, and the benefits. Jason, welcome. Thank you for stopping by this afternoon. He said in this video, okay, number one, he put out a correction that Winter Field Day is actually not sponsored by the ARRL. It's sponsored by Winter Field Day. And he wanted to put that out, and he said he went back and he edited his video to do that, and kudos to Walt for doing that. But he said the number of comments that he got on his video were just off the charts and really kind of blasted him, and even started going after his wife and stuff. And that's what Walt was saying in this video. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay. What are we? What kind of a society are we that we're doing this kind of stuff? I mean, granted, ARRL is not a perfect organization. They have their challenges. First and foremost to me, the number one thing that I see is their website is way outdated and really needs some serious updating. I think they could be run better, but what they provide is just such an incredible benefit, and the educational materials alone that they provide for you. Plus, like I mentioned last week when I talked about this before, is they have insurance that you can buy for your ham gear. I have a personal articles policy for my drones through State Farm, but they really kind of don't. It's kind of a gray area, ham radio gear for them. but this insurance that's offered through ARRL, I mean, it's incredibly inexpensive, and it provides excellent coverage. And that's something I would highly recommend that you look into, to do that, to insure your gear, because it's not going to be covered under your homeowner's policy. And I'm not sure even if State Farm would cover it under personal articles, because I was trying to go there with the representative that I'm working with, and it was a kind of a gray area for them. But here it's black and white. I filled it out online, got approved instantly, and the premium was absolutely fantastic. I got to renew because it's an annual renewal, and that's coming up. So, but yeah, Walt got blasted there and had to shut the comments off on that video. It was so bad. And we're here to support one another, not tear one another down. And Walt didn't do anything wrong here in this instance. All right. ARRL, like I said, even with its faults, it's still a good organization, provides a lot of valuable services and educational materials to the ham radio community, especially helping a lot of new hams out there. There is so much good that it does. And like I said, yeah, it does need some retooling and reworking, but I think, they'll get there. They'll do it. They're starting to take more surveys and getting opinions of people out there, which is good, and it makes a difference for hams out there. So that's kind of where that's at. But yeah, if you see Walt, give him, or if you're out there on Twitter, or leave a comment, tell him you support him, and because I'm sure he could use some encouragement. He's such a great guy. He's such a great ambassador for our hobby, and it really pains me to see when people do these kind of things. There's just absolute positive stupidity on people's ends. Absolute part of just absolutely horrible. So, the new dually antenna 2.0, 49-1 and 9-1. It's from Mike. And basically, the gentleman that made that, when he made it, he didn't make the base part with a spooler to spool the wire. And what he did in this go around is a prototype. He sent it to Mike to review. He made it with a spooler so you can actually spool the wire around where the 49-1 and the 9-1 on it is. So really did a good job on that from what I saw, because that video just came out. Now Jason just put out a new video as well too. What else is wrong with DMR? And this is kind of a two-parter video, and I think you should probably watch both of them because they're very educational, and you'll learn a lot about that. So that's something that I would definitely encourage you to do. There's Walt did another video out here, a great NPED half-wave antenna video that I would encourage you guys to go ahead and watch as well. Let's go ahead out to the Facebook page, because I know I have some things out there as well too that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to see if maybe I can find that article out there. I'm looking. I don't see that out there. But yeah, we're going to kind of, I have a few things we're going to share out here as well too. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The first thing is I have a lot of, it's incredible what Amazon has added in terms of ham radio gear. When I first started out in ham radio to where we're at now, it's like night and day what's being offered out there. It used to be the only kind of radios you can buy would be Valfungs. Well, now you can get out there, and through Gigaparts and through some other companies, they do have radios for sale out there, like you can see the Yaesu FT-3185Rasp, ICOM IC7300, the 705 is available out there. An incredible amount of radios that you can buy. And I have an Amazon store out there as well too, and the link is in the description down there. And of course, you guys know it doesn't cost you anything extra to use and to purchase from that, but it would really help the channel out and help to kind of keep the lights on. So I would greatly appreciate that if you get a chance to do that here. And that's a video from Richard. That's from last week. I love the secret radio aerials. This was done during World War II, that somebody had published. I thought that was very interesting here. Nice shack. It's very, very interesting what he's done here. You can see he has a geochron up there instead of a ham clock, which is basically the same thing. A nice monitor set up there. The rigs are out in front of him. Did a really, really, really good job here. I did sell my spare 7300, by the way. Got that sold on eBay today. That went out. Got a good price for it. Got a very, very good price for it. Ham radio updates from Eastern Wisconsin. Our friend Chris, there you go. Got that up for you. Always good to see youth being involved with radio here, and you can see there's a Cub Scout that's involved with that here. That's absolutely fantastic to see that here. And then I did a preview on the TMD 750A, and I hope you guys had a chance to watch that video. And of course, we had just talked about the 7760 right there. And there's very interesting. I've come across several of these. Yaesu FT-450D, and really kind of piquing my interest here. I found several for right around $400, and I'm kind of toying around with the idea of maybe getting one. It's just everybody has said that they had it. It's just a good, solid radio. Has a built-in tuner. Of course, this predates waterfall type of display information, but everybody that says it works really well. It's very solid, has a great sound to it, great signal reports, built-in tuner. It does a good job. And roughly around, you can find them for roughly around $400. So if that's something that piques your interest, I know there are a few out on eBay, the ones that are out on eBay, and you got to be careful on eBay. And this is something I always tell a lot of my ham friends, if you're going out there, a lot of them, I prep hand, Paul. Yes. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, I'm thinking of it as kind of a backup and to my 7300 kind of a thing. And yeah, and I agree. And I love the waterfalls as well too. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. But I really, it's really kind of piqued my curiosity with this, and it's kind of good to see that. This was the very first radio I had scoped out, and by the time I was ready to go, I ended up getting a 7300 because of the waterfall displays and the ease of use of it, and everything. But this is still a great radio. It's right around $400. So that may be an option for those of you who are just getting into things. But again, it doesn't, that waterfall display really helps, especially for new hams. And that's something I would strongly encourage new hams to kind of gravitate towards. I agree, Prep Ham Paul. It is a good starter or backup, 100%. I agree for that. So, but yeah, and if you can snag one, roughly, I've been taking a look out there. One of the things that I want to let you guys know, and I've said this before, but if you go out to eBay and you're looking for rigs out there for, say, a 7300, a 705, Yaesu, be very careful, because a lot of them will be made in Japan. And don't buy a Japanese one, because their band plan is different than our band plan here in the United States. Always buy a transceiver whose band plan is geared for the United States. You don't want to get one for Japan, because it's going to be completely different, and it's you're not going to have what you want. So just a kind of FYI, and that included for this, because I went out there to look on eBay for the FT-450D, and I saw quite a number of them use ones from Japan, and that's something again that you definitely want to avoid. You definitely want to go in the other direction here. This was very interesting. Somebody had evidently Night Kit. It was you could build your own radio right here. When he was 15 or 16, he built this, which was real interesting. Let's see if I can kind of blow that up here. Doesn't have a great display of the radio. He said that he fired it up and the radio's not working, but he's going to take a look at it and see if he could kind of get it going again, which was real interesting. So I kind of thought that was something that was very different here. Again, there's my 7300, and there's today's episode. You know, again, my whole thing, and one thing, it just really irked me when I watched Walt's latest video and seeing people that were coming after him for him supporting ARRL. My gosh, seriously, or we're just, we all need to take a step back, be thankful for what we have, be thankful for things like ARRL. They do a lot of good things for us in the ham radio community. And there are quite a few comments out there on Walt's second video that said, a lot of them have given grants and have helped a lot of clubs out across the country. And, the whole idea is to get more people involved in our hobby, to spread the good news about ham radio and all the good that ham radio does. And people are just, arguing about, things like getting a hard copy of QST and the QRZ magazine and everything. It just, instead of digital, and it gets so petty and just so, pay for it. That's what I did. Okay, I'm getting hard copies of my magazines from ARRL. I'm paying for it. Okay, it costs too much. It costs too much. It costs too much. Realize they have staff there that they have to support, and they take care of. I mean, if we don't have ARRL, we don't have, educational materials out there. We don't have the events that we have, like Field Day, and just helping out clubs, and just so much. They absolutely do so much. So, like I said, it kind of irks me that some people really start going after. Walt is one of the best ambassadors for our hobby that's out there. I mean, there are a lot of great guys that are out there that are great ambassadors for our hobby, like Jason, Mike, Josh, just a whole host of people are just absolutely fantastic. But Walt, to me, has been, I've really connected with Walt. I just think he's a great, down-to-earth, practical guy. I can't say enough nice things about him. I'm going to get him on the show in a couple of weeks. I know his living situation is different. I mean, he's working out of state as he does. And it's sometimes it's hard to find his schedule and everything, but hopefully maybe we can connect with him and get him on the show. He's just a great wealth of information. He's actually coming out with a book, and I think we talked about that last week. And I think that's something you definitely would want to check out, because the homebrew antennas that he does are just off the charts, and they do such a good job. Hey, and what he uses the G90 from Zygu, and he makes that radio saying 20 watts, and he's in touch with the entire world. Just so you can use these radios to your benefit, and you don't have to spend $7,000 and be talking to somebody across the ocean. I mean, it's that simple. So, guys, I want to thank you all for a great show today. Sorry, it's a little on the short side. This is kind of where we're at. We have these cycles where we don't really have a whole lot of news or a whole lot going on. Hamvention is coming up in May. Right at the end of February. We just had Hamcation. So that's the next thing to look forward to. Kind of, earmarking, looking for that new Yaesu radio when it's coming out. Kind of keeping an eye out for that and keeping an eye on things. So I want to thank you all for stopping by today, guys. As always, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7-3s, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening and week.